Wagwan, everybody, and welcome to the Team Venom Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Rory Bailey, joined by the other host, Connor Franks. Connor, how's it going, man?
It's going good, man. It's been a while.
Yeah, the last time we did one, we said, oh, yeah, we're going to make the commitment of doing one every week for a calendar year, remember?
I do.
And
I do.
then we both been like, the thing is, like, it always amuses me because I know I've seen stuff on Facebook before where if we haven't put anything out for a while, people think that we're not doing anything. Certain people, they're like happy that we're not doing anything. Like
Yeah.
not that. It's we would still talk all the time. We
All
just
the time.
like
We've just got life.
yeah, yeah. We
We
just,
have
just
we've got wives and kids and
yeah,
them responsibility things that
yeah, and
you've got
yeah. It's
to have
just
and
just one of them, isn't it? Like yeah,
yeah.
yeah. But yeah. So wrestling. That's what we're here to talk about again. And this weekend's been a really huge weekend for wrestling.
It's been
I
a
mean,
great weekend for
yeah,
wrestling. Like we can talk to the cows come home about what the merger with AAA means and the fact they did the Worlds Collide event and
which
then
was awesome as well. Like, I
that
fucking loved
abs-
that show. That
that's
was
that's
so good.
that yeah, that's what I'm getting to. Like we could talk
Sorry.
about the impact it has on the wrestling scene,
Yeah,
but more importantly, as wrestling fans, we got to see some fucking brilliant stuff.
yeah, yeah. And like the thing is, we're both massive fans of Dirty Dom as well. So I'm just throwing that
Huge.
out there. Octagon, Octagon Seco and Octagon Junior and that whole all those they're the sort of Mexican wrestlers that I've followed myself for years. So they
Yes.
do
Yeah.
like right. So you've got Octagon Junior, yeah, here at Worlds Collide, and Dom's getting in his face. So it's like, oh, come on, make the match, make the match, make the match. You're getting
Yeah.
it tonight. What? No, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's just like yeah. I was watching that like, oh, I'd love to see these two have a match, and they're like, yeah, you're doing it later at Money in the Bank. Like, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks, WWE. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Imagine that. Like the fans are happy because they've given them what they want. It's-
And I saw like the fans on X afterwards just they were given what they want and didn't know how to react.
that's the thing, and that's one of the things that we pride ourselves about on the podcast and stuff. We don't. We've said many times we don't tear anything down for the sake of it. I know that we when we do go off on tangents about things and go off on
AEW.
something negatively, we're very negative. Like, but usually we still point out we actually like all the people involved and all the performers, and we can still differentiate between. We can say if something's bad TV versus whether it's a bad worker. Do you know what I mean? We're always like that, and
And
this
I will
weekend's
say to
wrestling
our
was just
credit,
good TV. Like,
I will say to our credit, when we shit on things, we're consistent. We shit on the
yeah,
same things.
yeah, yeah,
You'll
yeah,
never,
yeah.
you can find one of our many, many rants about AEW or
I
how
was
they do
about to
their
say,
shows and their
right,
things.
this
You'll
this
not
week,
find one of us
Dave
been like,
Meltzer,
oh, God,
Dave Meltzer gave Adam Page versus Will Ospreay for the Owen Hart Cup 5.5 stars or something stupid like that. He went over his 5 stars for that match. Said it was the greatest match of all time. Will Ospreay versus Hangman Adam Page. Let that sink in. Kurt
yeah,
Angle
Kurt
never
Angle's
had a
never had
five
a,
star match
yeah.
according to Meltzer. Neither did
Dave
Shawn
Meltzer
Michaels.
has
You know what I mean?
given, yeah, Dave Meltzer's given more 5-star matches to Lars Sullivan
Yeah,
than he has Kurt Angle.
it's just yeah, I know. So that's what we consistently hate on when
Yeah,
stuff
fuck
gets
Dave Meltzer.
overrated. And the thing is, it's not that like we don't hate AEW as such. We just don't enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? It's not we're not
Yeah,
like the jaded wrestling fans for that with a sword and
no,
scanner.
no. Like
We're like
talent wise, they've got some of the best talent in the world.
yeah, some of my all time favorites are on
Yeah,
AEW.
same. Their roster in terms of
Mate, I'm a
talent.
Jerichoholic. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? Card
their
carrying
talent.
Jerichoholic. I've got all the Fozzy
Yeah.
albums, everything. Fucking like that. That's it. I'm there.
Well, that's it.
But
You want the proof? Go look through this channel's archives. You can find you at a Fozzy concert.
yeah, yeah. With my yeah, you can like there is
Yeah.
some footage of that. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, when they were, I was very cheeky and recorded Judas live and got more hits than anything we've ever had on the channel.
Very
But
Judas behavior though, like it stuck to the
I
throat.
was, yeah. The best part of that is at the time I was wrestling again for the Al Snow Wrestling Academy, and that was when I was having that very brief like little 3 or 4 month little run that I had there. Just that was basically to like cure an itch sort of thing.
Yeah.
Why I did that, and it was great. And my mate Adi, who was also friend of the channel, he's done bits and bobs that have benefited us in the past. He's been with me at Comic Cons and been behind the camera and things like that, but never on camera, other than for the wrestling stuff. He was my tag partner. And at that Judas thing, there's a part where like I had to pan round to him because he was just doing like the most flounciest dance ever. It's like they're just like proper get. You picture Sami Zayn on Raw to Jey Uso's music. That's what AD was like to Judas. So if you find that video, just watch it. There's a point where it pins around and this big menacing bold dude stood next to me dancing like a fool. But yeah,
No,
great times.
I've just got a picture of like someone doing the running man to Judas.
Basically, yeah. But yeah. So like AEW things, like I love Jericho, I love Edge, love Christian Cage. We did a whole friggin' one of our that when we started this series up again of podcasting, we did one just about Christian because we love him. You know what I mean? He's
Yeah,
one of our all-time favorites. And for my birthday, you got me the Christian Cage Instant Classic shirt from TNA, which was awesome and gets worn virtually every week as well. So,
as they
but
should. It's a great shirt.
it's a cracking shirt, man. And I've worn it to work and everything. Like, so,
Yeah,
the joys of casual office wear. Just, but yeah, no, I've lost what my point was. Yeah, no, I was saying like we shit on things when we don't like the TV, but it's not necessarily the worker. So
yeah,
like AEW is an example of I struggle to watch AEW and I struggle to watch like their storylines. I struggle with all that, but I still like all the work and I still have a healthy respect for the workers. That I don't think Kenny Omega sucks, for example, because of how he's been booked. I actually quite like Kenny Omega and stuff, but I've not enjoyed a Kenny Omega feud for a long time. Do you know what I mean? It's that sort of thing.
yeah.
And the same as Jericho is a prime example. After he lost the AEW championship, he was in feuds with all sorts of people from all up and down the card and doing the good thing of like trying to raise people up, and it worked for MJF because MJF went to the next level following his Jericho feud and became world champ. Um, but he's been in just some like real stinker segments and stuff since then, and it's
Oh
like
yeah,
like just difficult to watch and it's just one of those. Whereas WWE and TNA have been consistently good and enjoyable to watch and stuff. And obviously, Worlds Collide is a prime example of a wrestling show done right. Money in the Bank was really good. I
yeah.
enjoyed every match of Money in the Bank. I couldn't say, oh yeah, I skipped through this one, which because we've got Netflix, we can skip through whatever we want. In fact, Netflix has made me lazy for watching live wrestling now. But aside from that, like yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed the whole thing of Money in the Bank. And
Yeah, I stayed up to watch it live because I couldn't sleep anyway, so I figured
nah,
I might as well like have a purpose to be up rather than just not sleeping.
fair
And
enough.
it thankfully, because we were talking about it before, and there was just something we were like, oh, I don't think I can be asked.
Do you think? I think it might have been because we were enjoying Worlds Collide.
That's probably what it was.
Yeah, and I was sort of by the time that Worlds Collide started, I was sort of all wrestling out because I had like
Yeah,
a full day of wrestling related stuff. In fact, the thing I went to during the day, I'm going to happily talk about because it was for a, a British wrestling promotion called Aspire in Derby. Ridiculously awesome event. Like they've been going 6 or 7 years. The guy that started it was the co-owner of Hope Wrestling, and the two owners fell out, and one carried on with Hope, one launched Aspire. Um,
Britwres Civil War.
yeah, well, no, it's like an amicable falling out, I think, if memory serves. But then they got a guy called Paul Malin, who's one of the best British wrestlers out there. He's wrestled virtually everywhere in the UK. There's not Like you can go onto Cage Match and find hundreds of Paul Malin's matches on there. He's fought people like Kevin Owens and Tatanka, and pretty sure I saw him the thing of him fighting Billy Gunn one year. You know, all cool stuff like that. He's like one of those reliable, you know, like how certain British wrestling feds, they book people who they know are just going
Yeah,
to put on a really good match and they can work with anybody. And Malin's one of them. And so he was put as the head trainer for this Aspire Wrestling about 6 or 7 years ago, and I've been down a few times myself, and I've done a few training sessions over the years. Um, and my son was really into it years ago, and then for like because of things with like school behaviour at times, and the time of actually being able to get to to these training sessions, we had to knock it on the head for a while. But over the last 3 or 4 months, he's been going every weekend to Aspire Wrestling for training, and
yeah.
what they had was they had this charity show on yesterday, which was Saturday the 7th of June for anyone listening, because you know I say yesterday I could have it might take me 5 days to put this episode out, but it was a charity show for a charity called Sam's Superheroes, and they had all the kids that go to the wrestling training on Saturday mornings. They had all of the junior trainers there, and some of them put on full matches. So it was really funny. Like the first match featured like some 8-year-olds just battering each other like that. But the most amusing part to me was when like they had this heel team of like 11-year-olds and stuff coming out, and everyone was booing these poor kids. And then their opponents came out, and it was I can't remember the guy's name. This another well-known British wrestler. His name's on the tip of my tongue. It's going to bug the hell out of me now. But he came out with his son, and for a second I thought, oh no, they're going to put him in there. They're going to put him in the ring with a 40-year-old guy as the good guy. But they didn't.
Just goes in and just
They were
starts
just that, like,
chopping
oh, this
children.
which would have
Baby
been
face
amazing.
comeback.
But no, it was a great show. All the pupils that were there did really well, and they had loads of the Aspire wrestlers there as well. So they had like some showcase matches. The main event was Jordan Lee, who's a really good up and coming British wrestler. He's done lots of stuff with Aspire. That's like his home fed. I know he's done other bits with other places. He's their champion at the moment, and he was taking on Ritmo. And I'm sure
Okay,
you know who
nice.
Ritmo is
Yeah,
because
yeah, of
Ritmo's
course,
been
yeah.
everywhere as well. That was a cracking match as well. But it was just awesome to see all the stuff of like how good all the kids there were doing, and you know it's just a nice wholesome wrestling show sort of thing.
Yeah,
But what was really awesome for me on a personal level is obviously, and this will it may not interest any of our listeners, but if there's any long-term listeners listening into this and thinking when I'm going to get to the fucking point, when we first started out doing Team Venom Wrestling, which was 2013, so 12 years ago, maybe more. When we first started out, we were doing like British, we were actually wrestling, and then we did the journalism side of things, and I think 2014 was the point where I went from wrestling to interviews because that was where we got like Bret Hart, MVP, X Pac, Too Cool, had loads of interviews just lined up in a row, and then I did quite a lot with Hope Wrestling as well. And the very first podcast that myself and some former contributors put out was had a guest called Tyson T-Bone on, and Tyson T-Bone got signed to WWE. Phenomenal wrestler, one of the best British wrestlers ever. Like you know, like that's not. I'm not overstating that. He's
that's not
genuinely
no,
awesome, and
that's not exaggerating. He's an unbelievable talent. It's a crime
yeah,
that it's a crime he wasn't like the face of NXT UK.
yeah, I know. And we've done loads of interviews with him over the years. There's a load of written ones on the website from years ago as well. Um, and I used to knock around with him quite a bit at some of the shows. Same with Malin. Like so, you know, I knew Paul Malin from those same shows. And Tyson T-Bone was at this Aspire show where it turned out that his nephew was training. So he travelled to come and see his nephew's first wrestling show. Obviously, I was there for my son's first wrestling show. So that was quite nice that like like someone who I haven't seen for a while, because we used to communicate via Facebook, and obviously when they all got signed to WWE, a lot of my mates on the British wrestling scene, all of a sudden I couldn't reach any of them because they only knew him via, I could only contact them via Messenger, and WWE
Yeah.
like, nope, shut all that shit down. um, so it was nice to see him and catch up and stuff. And Ruben got an obligatory selfie with him as well, which was cool. Ruben also got to Superman punch a full-grown man as part of his appearance in the show too. Uh, Again, for the listeners, Ruben's my son, just in case I haven't made that clear. But it was cool. So my son, T-Bone's nephew, and then what Paul Malin was telling me earlier is that my old friend Chris Travis, his cousin is one of the trainees as well. So it's like, and they knew all those from all over the country. So it's nice that there's like a whole new generation of people who were like, well, I knew your cousin, I knew your uncle, and that's awesome so it was just great, and it was a great show, and they raised a hell of a lot for the charity, and it was awesome. And that took up, I think I dropped Ruben off at 11 o'clock in the morning, and the last match finished at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'd had a good 6 hours there. Came back. There was a bit of travelling involved. Came back, watched Worlds Collide, loved it, and then I was ready for a sleep. So I watched Money in the Bank this morning.
Yeah.
But such a good weekend for wrestling, man.
It was. I love how over Mr. Iguana has gotten with like the mainstream fans.
Yeah, I know, dude. I was just like, the hell is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Although like I know like we knew, for example, Lindsay Dorado was hired and like training at the performance, helping at the performance center and things like
Yeah.
that. But I just loved seeing X blow up when Joaquin Wilde's replacement out of nowhere was just Lindsay Dorado on Team
Yeah.
WWE, and the whole of X was just like, what?
Yeah.
You were released 5 years ago. What do you mean?
Well, yeah, he's been doing. Was it Evolve that he was on or fairly
Yeah,
recently? And yeah, it's just great. And I love that they went right. We're gonna do this Worlds Collide, and we're gonna show which WWE wrestlers would suit going to AAA as well. Do you
yeah,
know what I mean? It was like a whole like, yeah, all these guys would be awesome. Like Chad Gable and his feud that he's having with Lucha Libre in general. Like
yeah.
that would be amazing in AAA if he turns up there repeatedly. The American Alpha just turn up and start braining people.
Chad Gable's whole feud with Lucha Libre
Yeah.
feels like a very carefully written and to present an old storyline, and they've written it perfectly for like I don't want to sound like an old head, but like the woke world who's easily offended.
Yeah,
It's like they've gone, okay, so we did make headlines when JBL was hunting illegals.
yeah.
How can we get that across now and not be sued?
Oh, maybe that's why JBL was putting the team together. Like, he's going to all the indies so he can also like back Chad Gable up in the future.
That's why we haven't seen him since, or he's done anything else. It's not because he was building a team for wrestling. They're walking up and down the fucking Donald Trump's wall, just
Yeah.
suplexing Mexicans back into the country.
So that's something that sort of like fizzled out was the whole JBL thing. You know, when there was all that intrigue as to, oh, why is JBL at TNA? Why is he at GCW and all
TNA,
this?
GCW, MLW.
Yeah, just started turning up, and he did more appearances for TNA than anywhere, and so. But it was usually talking because he interfered in a few of the title matches involving Hendry, didn't he?
Nemeth and yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think we ever got a reason for why he was doing anything. I think it's just sort of gone, it's over now. Don't worry about it.
Well, he's still signed, didn't he? WWE. I think he
Yeah.
just probably like, I'm bored. WWE,
Let me
can I
hit
go
people.
out? Yeah. Excuse me, WWE, can I go out and play? Yes, you can, John. Be back when the streetlights come on for your tea.
Well, can you remember when they did that thing? They hyped it up on Raw on Netflix? Oh, next week JBL's going to come here and we're all going to hear what he has to say. Like, oh, nice.
And then just,
and then just like, he's just on commentary, guys. Like, proper trolled everybody. So, we should probably talk about the results of Money in the Bank for saying that it was last night, and it's one of the most important shows of the year, isn't it? Usually, first seeing who the next crop of champions are going to be.
Yeah.
And as much as I liked the whole show, and I did like the whole show,
The show itself was great. I
yeah,
think
I think the concept of Money in the Bank's starting to wear out.
I see it's going the same way as the Rumble for me. Like
Yeah,
the biggest flaw. Excuse me, my belly's going crazy. I don't know if you heard that. I
I
felt it.
did. It was beautiful.
Should probably eat. I just realised it's like nearly 9 p.m. and I haven't actually eaten today. I'm the worst fat man ever. I forget to eat. Well,
Right
yeah,
there
like
with you, buddy.
the Rumble never has a surprise winner,
No.
right? People can go, well, Jey, no one really thought Jey Uso was going to be the guy, but he was still like, no one was, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? The
Yeah.
whole concept of the Rumble is it's just over the top rope. It's 30 men. So it's baffling that we've had nearly
Yeah.
40 of them. And not once have you had like someone in the equivalent to a Joaquin Wild winning
Yeah.
it because they don't have to pin anybody.
Yeah.
You don't have to be the best, or you know what I mean. Like logically,
I know what you mean. Yeah, yeah.
and I feel like Money in the Bank's going the same way. Where, like for example, in there we had Andrade, right?
Yeah.
If he'd have won it, it would have been a shocker, but would have also made if they actually didn't, if they didn't Baron Corbin him, guaranteed a new star,
Yeah.
a new main eventer.
Same with
But
Penta, El
same with
Grande.
Penta. Hell, same with LA Knight.
Yeah.
I know he's done main events, but he's not been at that level.
Same
And
with Solo. You can throw Solo in
yeah,
there for that too.
that's what I mean. You're literally climbing a ladder and pulling a briefcase off a hug, and yet it's the one
It's literally
person who's a
5 out of 6 guys
multi-time.
could have done with that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's gone. And don't get me wrong, I like Seth. I don't think he needs this to challenge for a world title. He's
No.
got Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker behind him. That should be enough when it comes to one. Have them at your back to cost whoever in a number one contenders match. Have them cost.
Yeah.
I imagine Jey is who we'll go for. Have them be one of the main reasons Jey loses to Seth. He doesn't need the briefcase.
Yeah. Well,
you could have.
I saw ages ago that apparently Triple H doesn't like the surprise cash-in elements to Money in the Banks and things, and that Triple H has never been allegedly, and it's probably Sean fucking Meltzer that said it, and so therefore it's probably not true at all. But said that Triple H wasn't a fan of Money in the Banks, and the concept of the cash-in, and if that's the case, because he's never really been involved in.
I was going to say he's never been cashed in on, has he?
No, never been involved in it at all. And the Seth Rollins cash-in before was a brilliant cash-in because it wasn't picking up scraps at the end of the match. It was, fuck it, I'm going in the main event of WrestleMania. And he came down and still had like a full match worth of time down there.
That's what it's like. These two big bitches are killing each other. This is the best chance I'll ever get.
Yeah.
Which made sense at the time. But that's what I mean. And I think from then to now,
yeah,
the growth of Seth, I feel like Seth didn't need it.
No,
I'm sure we're going to get
Seth
gold.
Doesn't even need the world title.
No, he doesn't. He could never win a world title again and still be top of
still be in the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Still be in the Hall of Fame, still be top of the card, still be one of the biggest draws, one of the biggest merge makers.
And I want to point out though the fact that we've said this before Mania, and WrestleMania has managed to actually reinvent him and make him this whole revolutionary thing that's been a bit tired for the last year or whatever, has now makes sense. He's actually trying to start his own little revolution, getting all these guys together, and I like that he's reinvented himself in that way, and I like that it's playing into the character that he's not really done anything with for the last year. Do you know what I mean?
Did Seth fight at Mania?
It was Roman and Punk and Triple Threat when Heyman turned on him.
Oh, of course it was. Yeah.
Yeah, so Seth got that, and obviously we've got like a massive resurgence for Seth's career. Like it has been like a huge change for him, and it's been great. And I like how they're presenting him, and I like the fact that he's being treated as a heel. The guys he's with are being treated as heels. He doesn't actually seem like a heel most of the time.
No.
It's just that people don't like him because it was Roman and Punk that were the victim of his alliance and stuff. And you're like,
Yeah.
but I like this. Do you know what I mean? I'm liking the Seth Rollins turn, and I'm liking the alliance with Braun. I'm liking Bronson Reed being there because the logic that they've got there is Seth and Bronson Reed beat the living shit out of each other before Survivor Series, so Seth knows that he's a good person to have to have watch his back because
Yeah.
he's like, yeah, that guy can fuck me up. He's in. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, fair enough. The amount
I
of
think
times like I've been pissed up and fought with someone and then ended up drinking with them out. It's that sort of mentality, isn't
oh,
it?
of course. I think my issue is that long-term storytelling, this is clearly going to lead to Braun beating Seth, right? Face Braun
Yeah,
beating heel Seth for the title down the line. I'm all
that
for
might even
that,
be
right?
next year's Mania main event.
It could be because I wouldn't be surprised if you get Braun versus Bronson in like Daniel Bryan. You've got to beat Triple H to get in the main event.
Yeah,
Like not so much copy and paste, but for it to be close to Mania,
like maybe
unless
Elimination Chamber with
unless
Seth
Braun,
goes.
yeah. In fact, no, because Braun won't Rumble, they'd still
Sorry,
do this
man.
because
AIDS.
they've done it. Yeah, I get that same. They've done it before with Rumble winners, so it doesn't matter actually. But I imagine it'll be either Braun wins number one contender spot around Rumble,
Yeah,
or wins the Rumble.
I think Braun would be a
Chooses
great pick to win
Seth,
the Rumble.
and then say Chamber. Obviously, we know they changed the calendar around, but for now we'll say Chamber. Right, you want me? Yeah. You have to beat Bronson.
Yeah.
And then big meaty men slapping meat. Braun actually wins. Braun v Seth at Mania. Would love that. Go for it. If that's what we're getting, happy for it. Still didn't need the money in the bank involved in that.
No. Because, like you say, Seth could just win it legit. Unless it's
Although,
their way of protecting Jay.
imagine Seth wins the title without cashing in. He then is champion, gets beat at Mania by Braun for the title, attacks him straight away and cashes straight back in.
Heyman clocks him with the briefcase or something. Yeah.
No.
Oh, do you know what? I've just realised what they're going to do.
I'm gonna write an email.
Right, okay. CM Punk has been saying about he wants to get back gold and all that sort of stuff. I think this is the year that CM Punk wins the world title.
Triple A Mega Championship.
Or the AAA Mega Championship, yeah, which would be awesome. But no, I think this is the year CM Punk wins a world title, either the world or the WWE. He could beat Cena convincingly because he's done it before. Do you know what I mean? It's like if Orton had beat the problem with Orton and Cena when it just happened was that it happened too close to Cena winning the title. If Orton and Cena was SummerSlam, you could believe that Cena was going to lose it.
Yeah, because I don't think Cena's going to be world champion at the end of his like. I think the back 2 months or whatever, he will have lost the title and he'll be a face again.
Yeah, so I could see Cody being involved but not winning the title. I could see CM Punk beating Cena. Maybe Rock could be there, Cody could be there. It could lead to the Rock versus Cody at Mania or whatever. You know what I mean? Because that's the match that the Rock wants to come back for. I could see CM Punk winning the world title off Cena, or I mean, he could win it off Jay either. But I could see CM Punk winning it and then immediately getting screwed over by Paul Heyman and Seth Rollins, like literally straight away. And that would justify Seth being the Money in the Bank champion holder. Sorry, just to fuck over Punk.
Yeah.
So, and then we could, yeah, I think that would be hilarious, to be fair. And I'm a CM Punk fan, but like based on the whole storyline they've had with him and CM Punk saying Seth Rollins never beat him and all this sort of stuff, and it's true because at Mania he didn't pin him, pin Roman. I think Seth cashing in on Punk would be awesome. I think out of anyone, that's sort of who he needs to cash in on.
Yeah, I think for long-term storytelling.
Yeah,
absolutely. We should really run through Money in the Bank. We keep
really should. Well, yeah. So we've talked about that.
yeah. So
Dominic obviously still beat the shit out of Octagon Junior there, and it was
in about
amazing.
5 minutes, but
Tied his mask to the ropes, man. That was awesome.
I know. Obviously, Rollins won the men's Money in the Bank, which also included a Jacob Fatu turn on Solo.
Yes,
which I hate you, Solo. Phenomenal. We knew it needed to happen. I think this probably is going to be when Zilla gets the call.
Yeah.
Because I think you're probably going to get Solo bringing in Hikuleo.
And we've had that thing of Solo's been saying recently, just before Jeff Cobb came in, or JC Mateo, as he's now called. He did that thing, didn't he? He was saying to Solo that he's running out of soldiers.
Yeah.
Sorry, Solo was saying to Jacob, "Oh, I'm running out of soldiers," and then got JC Mateo in. So now he's only got JC Mateo. The Tongans might be ready to come back because Tonga Loa's been out since November.
Yeah.
And Tama Tonga, I don't know if he's injured or not, but he just sort of disappeared off TV, didn't he? So I'm assuming he's injured.
Yeah, he got an arm injury, and they played it off on screen as was it LA Knight who jumped him?
Yeah, I remember seeing
at the start of the show in slammed the car door in his arm or something like that.
Yes, I didn't realize that's how they wrote him off.
That's how they wrote him off. Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with Netflix being able to with Netflix allowing me to watch SmackDown live, and I don't have work on a Saturday. I have that joy of sometimes I'll be like, I'll wake up and be like, oh, it's 1:30. That's it. SmackDown comes on, and then I forget stuff that I've watched on it. So that's probably when I saw that. Didn't realize, but yeah.
So we've covered that. Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank, which I want out of the list. I think the people who were going to benefit more was either going to be Naomi or Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
I think Stephanie Vaquer is too big of a face.
Julia's
too fresh.
At that level.
She is, but she's also tweening. She's like.
Yeah, but I mean, when you look at everyone in the match, Rhea Ripley doesn't need it.
No, Rhea Ripley. I think people, even the hardcore Rhea Ripley fans, I think would have been like,
yeah, she doesn't need this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Now we've got Mammy in the bank for 4 months.
Yeah. So
Alexa Bliss,
multiple time champ.
I'm not going to forget. I'm not going to lie to you. I keep forgetting she returned.
Yeah. It's because it's been one of those returns where she's returned and it's just sort of there.
Yeah.
And it's still good, and it's good to see her and everything. It's just that they haven't really given her much direction since she's come back.
No.
Whereas Charlotte obviously won the Rumble Mania match, which she lost, but Charlotte Flair was back because of all that.
Yeah, exactly. Naomi, she's proved she could be a world champion. She did it in Impact.
Yeah, she's great.
Do you
remember when she was the SmackDown Women's Champion? You brought out the glow belt. Yeah. That was awesome.
Yeah, and she got bollocked by management.
Yeah.
So Naomi is Miss Money in the Bank. I thought when she started climbing the ladder when no one around, I was like, okay, great, here comes Jade.
Yeah, so I was thinking Jade was going to come out. But I think she's going to cash in on Jade instead.
Yeah, I think so.
That's got to happen.
No, because I think she's going to cash in on Io because Io's the face, and then it will be Jade who beats her down the line. Because I think we're gonna get Bianca and Jade.
I think they'll be the finalists and the Queen of the I think the finalists, the Queen of the Ring, will be Bianca and Jade.
It will, and then I think it's going to be Jade versus Naomi at SummerSlam. I think we're going to get a very quick cash in for Naomi. Becky Lynch defeated Lyra Valkyria. Fine. But this should have happened the Raw after Mania. Like they shouldn't have won the tag titles, which is what I said to you.
Yeah. Especially with the titles going straight back to Liv and Raquel.
Well, that's what I mean. I feel like it would have had more of an impact. Yes, I know it's Becky's back, but it would have had more of an impact at Mania if Lyra took the pin and then Becky did the turn, because you can have Liv roll Lyra up at Mania, and then her and Raquel quickly leave the ring because we've rolled them up. We got a quick escape. We can't celebrate. That's against the rules.
Yeah.
and then have Becky
celebrate
turn
on the
at
ramp sort of
Mania.
thing.
Yeah, and then have Becky turn in the ring, and then the Raw after. You can have the big face to face, and then you won my title. You've got it tonight. And then yeah, potato.
Yeah, river dance.
Ribbons. I'll be problematic in tights, so will.
We shouldn't be doing this. Most people might think that was us.
Oh, but we still got press retainer and you didn't suckers. Yeah. So then the Lyra turning on Becky at the end. Well, not turning, she attacked because Becky was taking the piss, but great match, fun match. But again, I feel like they're doing too much for no reason in this.
Yeah.
I'm glad Becky's holding this belt because I think I said to you when we talked about it before, having Becky hold a mid card title in the women's division
does more for the mid card. Agreed.
Really elevates it.
Yeah,
makes Lyra look good because she was the first IC champ, and it took someone of Becky's level to take the belt off her. Perfect. Fine
and multiple attempts to as well. So it's like it was. So it still strengthens, that whole thing of it. And Becky's showing that she really wants that belt. So that's good.
And finishing off Money in the Bank, the main event, Cody and Jay defeated John Cena and Logan Paul. It was a decent match. It was quite a fun match. I think we all knew. I didn't think John and Logan were winning this at all. I thought there was because I think we're gonna get a John Cena Logan Paul match, and I think this is gonna be. I always thought this was gonna be the plant the seeds for it. Don't get me wrong, I didn't expect WWE to have worked the entire world, including their own staff with R-Truth.
Who's now going by Ron Killings as well, which is amazing. They've gone full series with him. He's listed as Ron Killings again now.
If he's doing a full Ron Killings, I think I actually said this to you, didn't I?
Yeah.
I want his last run to be Ron Killings, whether that's
and they're doing it
back into let him do what was he the first and only, I believe, African American NWA World Champ.
I think so, yeah.
I believe so. Let's get that run. Give him a mid card title because I understand they probably won't go top, but give him mid card. Let him have a real run, not a random rolling Shinsuke thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, R-Truth's back. Cody and Jay won. I think this is good because I think this will keep Cody away from John for a little bit, and I think we're going to get John versus Logan. I think that will be hard to push, kind of, because it's heel versus heel. No one's going to want to back Logan. I think the only way that's going to work is if they let Cena loose on the mic.
Yeah.
And just have him tear into him that he's nothing but a YouTuber or this and blah, 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 blah.
And try and turn Logan Paul face by sympathy.
Yes, literally.
That would be great.
I think
he's just been ripped to shreds, and now everyone's like, "Oh, poor Logan Paul." Yes, I would have a bottle of Prime, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the only way that's gonna work. But in terms of just seeing how it plays out in the ring for Cena's last year, I'm very much happy to just sit and take a ride.
One of the things that I'd like to throw out there as well, I was originally going to suggest us doing a podcast at some point over the next week to talk about R-Truth because of him being released.
Yeah.
Thanks, WWE. That's that got out the window.
Hey, we could do a career retrospect. We did one Christian Cage.
We could still do that, yeah. Well, anyway, that's about all the time we've got. So thank you everybody for listening, and remember, like and subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're listening to us via Spotify, find us on YouTube at Team Venom Media. There's hundreds of interviews, clips, all sorts of stuff. There's pictures of me, videos of me getting the crap kicked out of me at Hope and ASWA and other places as well. It's just a fun channel. There's lots of stuff. Go on there, like, subscribe, all that. Thanks.